Hello Believers, I'm so happy to finally be back on my channel after this whole month. Yeah, it's been crazy. I had my finals and a lot of stuff to do for school, and I just finished a couple of days ago, so I'm finally back. I received a lot of requests the whole time I was gone, so I decided today I was gonna start. And the first request I got was to film my Belieber stories. The Belieber who requested it her name is right here. I can't say it, I'm sorry, but she's so sweet and she came back a lot on my channel, so if you're watching this right now, this video is for you and all of the others watching, so thank you for staying with me. And here's my Belieber story. I'm gonna start with the real beginning and how I discovered Justin and the whole thing and how I turned to a believer and where I am now. Okay, so let's go back to like 2010, the end of 2010. I was already in this house and my dad installed a new system to have television. Something we didn't have before. Like, we had television, we didn't have the same kind of channels and everything, and on the system we have right now and that we had back at that time, we had new channels that were doing a lot of shows about celebrities, a lot of shows like that, so I was watching them a lot. And so I knew everything anybody had to know about celebrities. And the first time seeing Justin, I remember, was they were doing some kind of documentary about him or something. Like, that was not the beginning of his career, but he was starting to be known in France. Yeah, the channels were French channels, by the way, because in Belgium we speak French, so we have a lot of French channels. And I remember the first time seeing him was when he appeared was Usher at the Teen Choice Award, I believe. I'm gonna put a picture of exactly what I remember, because this picture has been seen a lot. It's like kind of the first time that he went out or something. And I remember they did like a sort of documentary reports, whatever, and they were saying bad things about him. And back at those days, he seemed really annoying, you know? Like, he was a kind of kid, like, now knowing what I know, he's funny, but when I didn't know anything about him, I just knew what they were showing. It was like, oh my god, this kid, like, really, he's so spoiled, so whatever. Like, he got on my nerves. Honestly, I remember one time seeing him on TV. They were doing that documentary report, whatever, and I was like, just, God, this kid, like, really, like, can they stop talking about him? He's so annoying, blah blah. And so after that day, I saw him a couple of times on TV, but they were always showing that shitty side of him, you know? Like, I remember this time he was on a plane, and someone asked him, like, what was the question? What would you do if tomorrow everything would have to stop or something? And he said to the guy, how many chances do I have to be on a plane right now and tomorrow it would stop? Like, really? Like, he was so cocky. He was just like 14 or something, 15, and he answered that. I was like, seriously, dude? You just answered that? I wasn't Belieber back at those days. I was just like, Justin is whatever, you know? And I remember it's the Scooter. I didn't know it was Scooter at the time, but I remember now it being Scooter. He said, Justin, now you apologize and you answer to the question with other words. And like, Justin was like, I'm sorry. You know. And so I remember that, and I remember being pissed. I don't remember many things after that. I remember being in January 2011 and I was 18. I was at my house. I had an old computer. I was stealing the internet from my neighbor, and because my dad didn't want me to have internet at the house, so whatever. And I had this program where you could download songs for free. It was illegal, but everybody was doing that. And so I was downloading a bunch of songs. Like, I had like 2,000 songs downloading at the same time. And sometimes, if you did the same thing than me, you probably know that sometimes you were downloading a song, but the title was correct, but the actual song was someone else's song, you know? So I downloaded songs, and by accident I downloaded Baby and One Time. And so I had them on my iPod, and I was like, oh, this song is really cool. Like, I didn't know it was like this. The title was like all messed up with a bunch of letters, and like, it didn't make sense. I didn't know who it was. And so I was listening to those songs all the time on my phone, on my iPod. And so yeah, I really loved those 2 songs. I was on my laptop at my house. I was totally bored. I think it was a Thursday. School was about to start like 1 or 2 weeks after. I was bored like really, and I realized that there was not really, like, I wasn't really fan of somebody. Like, there was no singer or that I liked, no band. Like, I liked at that time Michael Bublé. He's really cool, but he's not like a pop artist, you know? I like listening to him when I'm cooking or cleaning or stuff, but he's not like I was 18, I needed something to rock my life a little bit. And so I was bored on my computer, and I remember in one of those documentaries that I saw that Justin became famous because of YouTube, right? And so I was on my computer and I said, okay, like, this kid Justin Bieber is so famous, why does everybody love him? Like, why is he so famous? He's everywhere. And so I just typed his name on YouTube, and the first videos that I saw that came up were not like his old videos from Kid Roll. It was all the videos like funny moments. And so I started to watch, and I honestly thought that this kid was crazy but super funny. Like, there were videos of him jumping on beds and doing like crazy things, and I started laughing and laughing. And so I kept doing my researches about him, and I found out his first videos, and I was like, oh damn, he can sing, that's cool. And then I found out that Never Say Never was about to come out at the cinema. And I was like, oh, there's gonna be a movie about him, cool. I think it was a Thursday because my mom came back from work and my dad is not there on Thursday night. So usually we take the time to do whatever we want on Thursdays because he's not home. So we were like, okay, let's go out. And I remember asking her to go to the mall because I wanted to find his CDs. And we went to the mall. I didn't find the CDs or albums or anything, but I found a book. I think I have the book right here. This book. And so I bought it. It was about 10 euros, and I said, okay, I just want to know more about this kid, know where it comes from and why is he so famous. And so I started to read the book, and I probably read the book in 2 days or 3 days or something, and I thought, oh my god, his story is just amazing. It's really cool. So I watched more videos. I discovered Twitter, and so I registered on Twitter, and my first tweet was to Justin, and I said, are you the real Justin Bieber? Because back at those days, I really thought that Justin was gonna reply to me. Yeah, I'm still waiting. 3 years later, 3 years and a half later, I'm still waiting. Anyway, and so I went on Twitter, and of course I started to follow a lot of people, but let's go back to the fact that I didn't have internet. Like, I wasn't allowed to have internet. I was in a place where I wasn't really happy with myself. I wasn't happy with my friends. I didn't feel comfortable in the whole universe I was, yeah, so. And I discovered Twitter, where you could just say whatever you wanted and talk with random people, and just Twitter was this whole world where you were never alone. Like, never alone. And so I discovered the word believer and what it meant, and I was like, damn, I'm a believer then. Okay, I'm a believer. So I became a believer in January 2011. Also, in the meantime, Justin was coming to Belgium March 2011, but the tickets were sold out, so I couldn't get any tickets. I became a believer too late. So yeah, so I didn't get tickets, and Justin came to Belgium, and I couldn't go see him, but it was okay because I was just starting, you know, to be in the whole Justin Bieber world and whatever. So I was sad, but I was okay, you know. It's not like for the Believe tour. When he came for the Believe tour, if I couldn't go, I would have been mad, sad, whatever. So yeah, I wasn't in a really happy place. I felt lonely, terribly lonely, and I found on Twitter a lot of friends. Still people that I have on my Facebook now that I talk to, and it feels great, you know. It felt great at that time to have friends who could just understand me and not get on my nerves, not criticize me. I became even more fluent in English when I started Twitter. If you're bad in English, if you're watching this video, you probably understand what I say. But if you don't understand the word that I'm saying right now, and just catch this moment where I'm saying go on Twitter if you want to be fluent in English. I'm telling you. And so I started basically this whole journey into being closer to this universe, and I remember going to to the movie with my mom. She came with me, and she really understood that. She really understood why I like Justin and his music. Like, also his music, because I didn't talk about his music at all right now, besides the fact I like Baby and One Time. So after I bought the book, a week later, I went to a big store. It's kind of a Walmart, but they just have CD, DVDs, and all sorts of stuff. Bought all the CDs I could find. I bought My World 2.0, Never Say Never, the remixes, My World, the collection, and I think that was it. There was no other CDs. And so I bought all of them, and I started to listen to all the songs slowly. Like, I started by the first album, discovering his universe and everything, and I loved his music. His music made me happy. Like, I wasn't thinking about the dark moments I was going through. Like, it was just happy. You know his songs. If you're watching this video right now, you're probably a believer and you know what I'm talking about. You just feel happy. So yeah, I was addicted to all the songs and to all of that. So that's why I'm sometimes a little upset when people just ask me questions about, like, if I would break up with my boyfriend for Justin or stuff like that. Like, I don't like Justin for how he looks like or whatever. It's more about his music and his universe and the way he doesn't care about things. Like, he's always so strong. They all give him a hard time, and he's always so strong about everything. So in 2011, I became a believer. I don't like when people brag about the fact that they became a believer 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, because honestly I was 18 back at those days, and I couldn't have been a believer before that. How could you know? Like, some people that I know are like 14, they tell me they were a believer when they were 9 years old. I wonder how. I really wonder how. I believe them, but oh well. So that's how I personally became a believer, and in the meantime I started my collection. But being an 18-year-old believer hasn't been an easy experience at all, and the more I grow up, the more I get older, the hardest it can be in some ways. Like, with believers it's easy. Like, I don't know, it feels like I'm their mom, you know. You all treat me with so much respect. I don't think I even deserve it, but thank you. And for my friends, some feel like they have to defend me, and some feel like I'm gonna grow up and understand what I don't know. But they all think like that Justin is a joke, basically, that this whole thing is a joke. They don't believe that he's good. Some try to hide the fact they like him, but I know they like him, you know? Like, when they know the lyrics of some songs that are not really famous, I'm like, okay. You don't like Justin, whatever. Besides that, I think that I have to just believe in myself and know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And I think I'm going to do pretty soon a video on free guys, free to handle the pressure of your friends. Because sometimes I know it's easier if you just say you don't like Justin, because they're so mean. I mean, for no damn reason, that it would be just easier to say, yeah, no, I don't like him, he's not good, you know? But I think if you do that, you're lying to him first, and you're lying to yourself, and that sucks, basically. Cheers. So I think that's pretty much all I had to say about how I became a believer. And if you have any more questions, things that I may have forgotten, or things that you would be interested in knowing, leave your questions and comments in the section below, and I'll get back to you. I'll maybe make a video for everybody if I feel like the questions might interest a lot of people. Thank you very much for staying with me and subscribing and doing all those amazing things. Honestly, you guys are amazing, and I understand why Justin loves you. I understand why Justin loves me. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I'll see you in my next video, and thank you for all the kind words you always have for me.